that the death penalty should stay in place, although right now we basically have a moratorium on it. You look at Maryland as compared to other states. We have executed 5 people since the 1970s. California, on the other hand, has executed over 600. We very, very carefully apply the death penalty in the most heinous cases. We don't jump to put people on death row. We're very, very careful. A very small minority of people ever make it to that point. And to say that, you know, it's like we're almost an uncivilized country for that. What do you say to the woman who came before our committee a couple of years ago and testified? Her son was an inmate, and he was murdered by somebody who was a lifer, by another inmate. What do you say to that mother? Because the guy that murdered her son may have had one of the worst days of his life, but the fact is that was the final day, the worst day of her son's life, and that there was no extra. How can you penalize somebody when they're already on death row? What are you going to do, take away their television?
It is not about perhaps saying that this is a deterrent. This is not about saying that this is a great way of wasting money, because it's not. The problem with the death penalty in the state of Maryland is that it's expensive, it's fraught with errors, and it is not a deterrent. It is clearly not a deterrent for people who we have death penalty right now. And look at Baltimore City in terms of the murder rate. Look across the country. Look at Harford County in terms of the murder rate. Interestingly enough, what we know about the death penalty in the state of Maryland is that we have made mistakes. We have, and while it's true that Kurt Bloodsworth was not killed, thank God, because somebody, a judge, decided to hold on to the evidence so that DNA could catch up, the technology could catch up to what the judge suspected was going on with this case. We don't want that mistake to happen, and I don't want it to happen.
And that mistake isn't going to happen with DNA.
You know what's so funny? That's interesting that you say that, but as a public defender, I recognize that DNA, while it's a sexy, scientific way in which you can clear up some cases, DNA is only...
It found the person that murdered that woman.
The point is...
It cleared him and found the guilty party.
I'm giving you all of that. That is correct, except for the fact that DNA cases really only represent less than 10% of the cases that are of the people who are sitting on death row.
That's because it
errors
wasn't used.
But no, there's no DNA. For instance, if I shoot you today, there's no DNA on that.
But you wouldn't be death penalty
But
eligible.
I could be, though. I could be, and that's the problem. Because
not if you just sit here and shoot. You have to have aggravating factors that put you on death row.
I pack a gun, I bring it here, and I'm planning on doing something. Clearly, I could if I wanted to, but that's not the point. The point and the errors that we have across the country about the death penalty have nothing to do necessarily with DNA.